What if the greatest force for attracting wealth was not a relentless hustle, but a quiet surrender? We have been taught to strive, to push, to conquer our financial goals through sheer force of will, believing that effort alone forges the path to prosperity. Yet this path often leads to burnout, anxiety, and a profound sense of lack, even when some measure of success is achieved. The truth, however, is a profound and liberating paradox. True, lasting abundance does not come from fighting the current, but from aligning with its flow. This alignment is an art, a dance with a universal rhythm that responds not to struggle, but to intuition, clarity, and grace. This book is not a map to a treasure you must find, but a mirror to help you recognize the treasure that you already are, and to show you how to let that inner value manifest as outer fortune. Feminine Fortune, The Art of Manifesting with Flow and Intuition, written and published by Success Attraction Formula. Chapter 1, Tuning into Your Intuition. Imagine you are standing at the entrance to a dense, ancient forest, a place where the light filters down in shifting patterns and the path is not immediately clear. In one hand, you hold a complex, detailed map filled with rigid lines, calculated angles, and the prescribed routes of others who have walked before you. In your other hand, you hold a simple, unadorned compass. The needle of this compass does not point north. Instead, it quivers and hums, pointing toward a direction that feels resonant, alive, and uniquely yours. The map represents the logical, analytical mind, the voice of reason, societal expectation, and data. The compass is your intuition, that deep inner knowing that speaks not in words, but in feelings, sensations, and silent certainties. For generations, we have been conditioned to trust only the map. We have been taught that success, especially financial success, is a problem to be solved with logic, strategy, and relentless analysis. This conditioning has created the most fundamental challenge we face on the journey to abundance. We are deaf to the wisdom of our own inner guidance. We navigate our lives based on an endless stream of external noise, the opinions of experts, the pressures of culture, the fear-based warnings of our own conditioned minds. We make career choices, investments, and life decisions based on what we should do, rather than what our soul feels called to do. The result is a life of quiet desperation, a feeling of being perpetually off course, a gnawing anxiety that arises from the dissonance between our actions and our inner truth. We chase goals that do not fulfill us, accumulate wealth that does not bring joy, and find ourselves exhausted from the effort of following a map that was never meant for our unique journey. This internal disconnect is the root of all financial struggle, for the universe cannot deliver true fortune to one who is not aligned with their own authentic path. The transformative solution is to reclaim the compass. It is to initiate a profound mindset shift that redefines intuition not as a whimsical, unreliable feeling, but as our most primary and trustworthy form of intelligence. Intuition is the silent language of the universe, a direct line to an intelligence far vaster than our conscious mind. It is the subtle whisper beneath the roar of logic, the gentle nudge that guides us toward the path of least resistance and greatest fulfillment. To tune into your intuition is to acknowledge that you possess an innate guidance system, one that is constantly communicating with you, offering wisdom perfectly tailored to your highest good. Embracing this perspective liberates you from the paralysis of over-analysis and the anxiety of uncertainty. It allows you to make decisions with a quiet confidence that emanates from a place of deep inner knowing. When you begin to trust this inner compass, you no longer need to have the entire path mapped out before you. Instead, you learn to trust the next step and then the next, knowing that each one is being revealed to you in perfect time. This is the foundation of manifesting with flow, moving in harmony with the current of life, rather than struggling against it. The benefit of this shift is immeasurable. It conserves your energy for inspired action rather than wasting it on worry. It attracts opportunities and resources that are in perfect alignment with your soul's purpose, and it infuses your journey toward wealth with a sense of grace, magic, and profound joy. Learning to hear and trust this silent intelligence requires practice and intention. It is an art that is cultivated through dedicated principles. The first principle is the cultivation of stillness. Your intuition is a subtle whisper, and you cannot hear a whisper in the midst of a storm. The constant storm of modern life, digital notifications, endless to-do lists, and the ceaseless chatter of the analytical mind creates a psychic noise that drowns out your inner voice. The practice of cultivating stillness is the act of intentionally lowering this volume. It is not about emptying your mind, which is an impossible task, but about creating pockets of silence in your day where you can simply be. This can be achieved through a simple meditation practice. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and bring your attention to the gentle rhythm of your breath. When thoughts arise, as they inevitably will, simply acknowledge them without judgment and gently guide your focus back to your breath. Even 5 minutes of this practice each day can begin to quiet the external noise and create the inner space necessary for your intuition to be heard. Stillness is the soil in which intuitive seeds can sprout. In this quiet space, you are not trying to find answers. You are simply creating the conditions for answers to find you. The second principle is to recognize the body as an oracle. Your physical body is an incredibly sophisticated receiver and processor of energy and information, and it often registers intuitive truth long before your conscious mind does. It communicates this truth through physical sensations. A correct, aligned path often feels expansive. A lightness in the chest, a sense of opening up, a feeling of warmth, or a quiet hum of excitement. Conversely, a path that is not for you often feels contractive. A knot in your stomach, a tightness in your throat, a feeling of heaviness, or a sudden drain of energy. This is your body's unerring wisdom at play. To master this principle, begin to pay meticulous attention to your physical responses as you move through your day. Before making a decision, no matter how small, pause and ask, how does this feel in my body? Consider a business opportunity and notice if your shoulders tense up or if your posture relaxes. Think about a potential investment and observe if you feel a sense of dread or a subtle positive vibration. This is not about making decisions based on fear, but about distinguishing the contractive feeling of a no from the expansive feeling of a yes. In a world that has taught us to live from the neck up, this practice of dropping into the body's wisdom is a revolutionary act of self-trust that will guide you flawlessly toward your fortune. The third principle is the practice of deliberate inquiry. The analytical mind loves to ask, how? How will I get the money? How will I find the clients? How will I solve this problem? This type of questioning often leads to pressure and a sense of limitation, as we can only see solutions based on our current understanding. Intuition, however, responds best to open-ended inquiry. It is the art of asking a powerful, expansive question and then releasing it to the universe, trusting that the answer will arrive in its own time and form. Instead of the frantic how, you shift to a more trusting and spacious inquiry, such as, universe, what is my next aligned step toward my financial freedom? Or, what do I need to know right now to serve my highest good? After you pose the question, your work is to let it go. Do not actively search for the answer. Instead, remain in a state of curious and patient observation. The answer may arrive as a sudden insight while you are washing dishes, a chance encounter with a stranger who says exactly what you need to hear, a line in a book that seems to leap off the page, or a persistent, gentle idea that feels light and inspiring. This practice shifts you from being the problem solver to being the receiver of divine solutions, allowing you to co-create with a wisdom far greater than your own. By integrating stillness, listening to your body, and practicing inquiry, you are no longer guessing your way through life. You are being guided. This is the first and most crucial step in manifesting with flow, the very foundation of your feminine fortune. But what good is a clear channel if the message you send is vague or born from fear? The next step is not just to listen, but to speak, to declare your desires with such clarity and conviction that the universe has no choice but to respond. How do you transform a faint wish into an undeniable command for abundance? That is the art we shall master next. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 2. Declaring Your Heart's Fortune. Let us begin with a truth that has been obscured by centuries of conditioning. Desire is not selfish, it is sacred. The deep, authentic longing within your heart is not a sign of lack or greed, but the voice of life itself seeking fuller, more expansive expression through you. It is the universe whispering its own potential, nudging you toward the person you are destined to become and the life you are meant to live. To honor your desire is to honor the divine impulse for growth and creation. Yet we are taught to suppress, judge, or shrink our desires to make them more realistic or acceptable. This creates the central problem that keeps so many from their fortune. We have forgotten how to want. Our declarations to the universe are often timid, vague, and contaminated by doubt. We say, "I'd like to have a little more money," when our soul craves complete financial freedom. We ask for a decent job when our heart yearns for a fulfilling vocation that ignites our passion. This lack of clarity sends a weak, unfocused signal into the quantum field, and the universe, which responds only to clear and resonant frequencies, can only mirror that ambiguity back to us. We find ourselves in a frustrating cycle of almosts, the opportunity that falls through, the income that stagnates just shy of our goal, the sense that what we truly want is perpetually just beyond our reach. This happens because we are broadcasting a request born from a place of apology and fear, rather than from a place of deserving and conviction. The world cannot give you what you are not brave enough to clearly and unapologetically claim. The transformative solution is to elevate the act of goal setting into the sacred practice of declaration. A declaration is not a hopeful wish. It is a powerful statement of intent, a conscious decision to align your entire being with a chosen reality. It is the act of looking the universe in the eye and stating, with unwavering conviction, what you are now available to receive. This is not about demanding or forcing an outcome, but about crystallizing your desire into such a pure, high-frequency signal that it becomes a magnetic beacon. When you declare your heart's fortune, you shift from being a passive wisher to an active and deliberate creator. You are no longer asking for permission to be abundant. You are announcing your arrival. This mindset shift is profoundly liberating. It dissolves the guilt and shame surrounding desire and replaces it with a sense of purpose and worthiness. It focuses your energy like a laser beam, making your intentions clear not only to the universe, but also to your own subconscious mind, which then begins to seek out opportunities that match your declared reality. The benefit of this practice is a dramatic acceleration of your manifesting power. Ambiguity gives way to clarity, hesitation transforms into momentum, and the universe begins to conspire on your behalf, rearranging itself to bring people, resources, and circumstances that are a direct match to your bold and specific declaration. You become a magnet for miracles simply because you have finally given the universe a clear and worthy destination to guide you toward. To master this art of sacred declaration, you must first engage with the principle of unearthing authentic desire. Many of our stated desires are not truly our own. They are borrowed from society, our families, or our peers. We chase symbols of success, the luxury car, the big house, the prestigious title, without ever asking if those things genuinely resonate with our soul. An inauthentic desire carries no energetic power. The universe responds to the emotion behind the intention, and if the intention is not truly yours, the emotional signature is weak. To unearth your authentic desire, you must become a gentle archaeologist of your own heart. Take time with a journal and ask yourself probing questions. Setting aside all expectations and judgments, what would I truly love to experience? What brings me an undeniable feeling of joy, expansion, and aliveness? If I had unlimited resources and knew I could not fail, what life would I create? Allow yourself to answer without censorship. Peel back the layers of shoulds and supposed tos until you reach the core of what your spirit truly craves. It may not be a mansion, but the freedom to travel. It may not be $1 million in the bank, but the peace of mind that comes from running a small, heart-centered business from a cabin in the woods. When you connect with a desire that is authentically yours, you will feel it. It will land in your body with a sense of resonance, a yes that vibrates through your entire being. This is the raw material for a powerful declaration. Once your authentic desire is clear, the second principle is to infuse it with specificity and sensation. The universe works in pictures and feelings. A vague desire like, I want to be wealthy, is like giving a master architect a blurry photograph and asking them to build a palace. To create a powerful magnetic blueprint, you must be specific, and you must charge that specificity with the emotion of the wish fulfilled. This is the crucial step of living in the end result. Do not just declare, I want a beautiful new home. Close your eyes and walk through that home in your imagination. What does the sunlight feel like on your skin as it streams through the kitchen window? What is the scent of the fresh-cut flowers on the dining table? How does the smooth, cool countertop feel beneath your fingertips? What is the overwhelming emotion you feel as you stand in this space? Is it peace, security, joy, gratitude? The more sensory detail and emotion you can bring to your vision, the more real it becomes in your energetic field. You are not just thinking about your desire, you are embodying the frequency of its fulfillment. This practice sends an unmistakable signal that this reality is not just a future possibility, but a present-day energetic fact. This is the difference between asking for something and activating it. The third and perhaps most crucial principle is the art of releasing the how. After crafting a clear, authentic, and emotionally charged declaration, the conditioned mind immediately jumps in with its most persistent and destructive question. But how is this going to happen? The obsession with the how is the single greatest act of self-sabotage in the manifestation process. It stems from a lack of trust in the universe's infinite intelligence. When you dictate the how, you are limiting the outcome to the narrow channels you can currently perceive, closing yourself off to the infinite, miraculous, and often far more elegant paths the universe could provide. Your sacred duty is to remain devotedly focused on the what, your declared outcome, and the why, the joyful feeling it brings. The how is the exclusive domain of the universe. To release the how is an act of profound faith. It is declaring your destination with absolute certainty and then trusting that the vehicle and the route will be provided. After you make your declaration, visualize yourself placing it into a beautiful, luminous sphere and releasing it into the cosmos, saying, "This, or something better, now manifests for my highest good. I surrender the details of its unfolding." This act of surrender does not mean you become passive. It means you are now free to focus only on the next inspired step, as it is revealed by your intuition, without the heavy burden of having to figure out the entire journey. This trust opens the floodgates of receiving, allowing your fortune to flow to you in ways you could never have planned or predicted. A declaration, no matter how powerful, requires a bridge to the material world. But this does not mean returning to the world of frantic effort and burnout. There is a way to act that is not a struggle, but a dance, a form of movement that is guided, inspired, and feels as natural as breathing. How do you take action that accelerates your manifestation instead of obstructing it with force? In our next chapter, we will learn the steps to this graceful dance. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 3. The Graceful Dance of Action. Consider two people who wish to cross a wide, flowing river. The first person, operating from a mindset of force and struggle, immediately begins hauling heavy stones and logs, attempting to build a massive bridge from one bank to the other. Their work is grueling, exhausting, and pits them directly against the powerful current of the river. The second person, operating from a mindset of flow and intuition, simply sits by the water's edge. They watch the current, feel the direction of the wind, and attune themselves to the river's rhythm. After a period of quiet observation, they notice a series of perfectly placed stepping stones just beneath the surface, revealing a path across that was invisible to the frantic builder. They cross the river with ease, grace, and minimal effort, arriving on the other side, energized and in harmony with their environment. This allegory illustrates the profound difference between forced action and inspired action, and it highlights the central problem we face after we have declared our desires. Our culture has deeply ingrained in us the belief of the first builder, that success is directly proportional to the amount of hard, strenuous effort we exert. We are taught to hustle, to grind, to push relentlessly toward our goals. This hustle culture is the single greatest source of burnout, resentment, and resistance on the path to manifesting our fortune. When we act from this place of force, our energy is heavy, anxious, and contractive. We are essentially trying to swim upstream, and the universe, which operates on the principle of flow, can only respond to our struggle with more struggle. We take massive action but see minimal results, leading to the soul-crushing belief that manifestation doesn't work, or that we are not worthy of our desires. The transformative solution is to completely redefine your relationship with action. It is to learn the graceful dance of inspired action. Inspired action is the physical expression of an intuitive nudge. It is the natural, effortless next step that arises from a place of alignment and flow, rather than from a place of fear or obligation. Unlike forced action, which feels heavy and draining, inspired action feels light, energizing, and often exciting. It doesn't feel like work, it feels like play. This is the stepping stone approach to manifestation. You do not need to build the entire bridge at once. Your only responsibility is to take the next single step that your intuition reveals to you. This profound shift in perspective liberates you from the tyranny of the endless to-do list and the pressure to have everything figured out. It replaces the anxiety of the hustle with the quiet confidence of knowing you are being guided. When you learn to act in this way, your actions become exponentially more powerful. A single, small act of inspired action can achieve more than months of strenuous, forced effort, because it is in perfect harmony with the universal current. It is an action that is supported, amplified, and blessed by the flow of life itself. The benefits are a deep sense of peace and trust in your journey, the conservation of your precious energy for things that truly matter, and the magical experience of watching your desires manifest with a speed and ease that the logical mind can scarcely comprehend. The first principle in this graceful dance is learning to recognize the inspired nudge. These nudges are the universe's direct messages, the breadcrumbs leading you toward your declared desire. They are often quiet and subtle, and learning to identify them is a skill. An inspired nudge might manifest as a sudden, spontaneous idea that appears out of nowhere and feels exciting. It could be a persistent, gentle thought to call a specific person, even if you haven't spoken in years. It might be a strong, unexplainable urge to visit a particular bookstore, coffee shop, or part of town. Or it could be seeing a name, a book, or a symbol repeated in a short period of time. The key characteristic of an inspired nudge is its emotional quality. It feels light, curious, and free from the pressure of should. It does not come with a heavy feeling of obligation. To practice this, start a log of inspired nudges. Each day, pay attention to these gentle whispers and urges. Write them down without immediate judgment or the need to act. The simple act of acknowledging them will make you more attuned to their presence and help you distinguish the voice of inspiration from the voice of ego-driven pressure. Once you recognize the nudge, the second principle is to honor it with the power of the smallest viable step. The ego often wants to take massive, dramatic leaps, but this can create overwhelm and resistance, which shuts down the flow of intuition. The universe, however, delights in small, consistent acts of faith. The smallest viable step is the easiest, most manageable micro-action you can take to honor the inspired nudge. If your nudge is to start a new business, the smallest step is not to write a 50-page business plan. It might be to spend 15 minutes researching potential business names, or to simply create a new folder on your computer desktop and title it with your business idea. If your inspiration is to write a book, the smallest step is not to outline all 20 chapters, but simply to write one sentence. Taking this tiny step does something magical. It sends a powerful signal to the universe that you are listening and that you are a willing co-creator. It says, "I trust this guidance and I am ready for the next stone to be revealed." This builds a powerful momentum of trust and alignment. Each small step you take makes the next one clearer, and soon you will find you have crossed the entire river, not through one heroic leap, but through a series of easy, graceful steps. The third and equally vital principle is embracing the rhythm of action and rest. Nature itself operates in cycles, day and night, activity and stillness, sowing and reaping. Manifestation follows the same natural law. The masculine energy of action must be balanced by the feminine energy of receiving, which occurs during periods of rest. Rest is not laziness, it is an active and essential phase of the creation process. It is in the moments of non-doing, when you are taking a walk in nature, enjoying a bath, or simply gazing out the window, that your energy integrates, your intuition recharges, and the universe has the space to work its magic on your behalf. It is often in these periods of deliberate rest that the most brilliant ideas, solutions, and inspired nudges arise. The hustle culture has created a deep-seated guilt around rest, making us feel that if we are not constantly busy, we are falling behind. You must consciously reject this toxic belief. Practice scheduling receptive rest into your calendar with the same commitment you would give to a business meeting. Trust that during these times, the seeds of your inspired actions are germinating beneath the surface. This rhythmic dance between deliberate, inspired action and intentional, receptive rest creates a sustainable, joyful, and powerfully effective path to manifesting your fortune. It is the secret to achieving more by doing less. You have listened to your intuition, declared your desire, and learned to dance with inspired action. Soon the universe will begin to answer. It will offer gifts, opportunities, and signs. But here lies the most subtle and profound challenge of all. Are you truly open to receiving them? Many of us ask, act, and then unconsciously block the very fortune we have summoned. How do you dismantle the inner barriers and become a gracious and magnetic receiver of all that you have asked for? That is the essential art we will uncover in the next chapter. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 4. Mastering the Art of Receiving. Have you ever prayed for rain while carrying an umbrella, wearing a raincoat, and seeking shelter at the first sight of a cloud? This is the profound paradox that defines our relationship with abundance. We perform the rituals of asking, we set goals, we visualize, we take action, but deep within our energetic posture, we are braced against the very downpour we have requested. We declare our desire for fortune, but we are fundamentally unprepared to get wet. This contradiction is the most subtle and powerful saboteur on the path to prosperity, creating the painful and perplexing problem of blocked receiving. You may recognize this pattern in your own life. A wonderful opportunity appears, and your first thought is a list of all the reasons it will not work. Someone pays you a heartfelt compliment, and you immediately deflect it with self-deprecating humor. You receive an unexpected financial windfall, and instead of feeling joy, you are immediately gripped by the fear of losing it, or the anxiety of how to manage it responsibly. This is the upper limit problem in action, an unconscious thermostat of self-worth that kicks in whenever we experience more joy, success, or abundance than we are accustomed to. When we hit this invisible ceiling, we unconsciously create thoughts, dramas, or circumstances to bring ourselves back down to a familiar, safer level of lack. This is not a conscious choice, but a deeply ingrained protective mechanism, a way our nervous system rejects what feels unfamiliar. Energetically, it is a closed door. You have guided your fortune all the way to your doorstep, only to refuse to let it in. The transformative solution lies in consciously cultivating the state of gracious receptivity. This is not a passive waiting. It is the active and deliberate art of opening your arms to the goodness of the universe. It is a fundamental mindset shift that understands receiving not as a sign of weakness or indebtedness, but as the sacred and necessary completion of the creative cycle. For every act of giving, there must be an act of receiving. For every prayer sent out, there must be an open heart to welcome the answer. To become a master of receiving is to decide, at a cellular level, that you are worthy of all the good the world has to offer. It is about expanding your energetic capacity to hold joy, to tolerate success, and to be at peace with prosperity. The benefits of this practice are life-altering. You stop the cycle of self-sabotage, allowing success to build upon success. You dissolve the anxiety that so often accompanies good fortune, replacing it with a sustainable sense of peace and gratitude. Most importantly, you signal to the universe that you are not just a dreamer of abundance, but a willing and capable steward of its gifts. Your energetic posture shifts from a clenched fist to an open palm, and in doing so, you become a powerful magnet, drawing in more opportunities, resources, and blessings than you ever thought possible, simply because you have finally given them a place to land. The first principle in mastering this art is acknowledging and healing worthiness wounds. At the root of all blocked receiving is a core belief that we are, in some way, not enough. This wound may have been formed in childhood through criticism, in society through comparison, or in our own minds through perfectionism. You cannot graciously receive what you subconsciously feel you do not deserve. To heal this, you must become a compassionate witness to your own inner dialogue. When you block a form of receiving, gently ask yourself, what is the underlying belief here? What part of me feels unworthy of this goodness? Do not judge the answer. Simply bring it into the light of your awareness. Then begin to actively counter this old programming with new, affirming truths. This is where affirmations become powerful tools. Throughout your day, repeat declarations such as, I am worthy and deserving of all the joy and abundance that flows to me, or it is safe for me to receive. Write these statements down, say them aloud, and feel them in your body. Furthermore, create a success log where you document every win, no matter how small, a compliment you received graciously, a discount you were given, a positive piece of feedback. This builds a mountain of tangible evidence for your subconscious mind, proving that you are indeed worthy and that the universe is constantly conspiring in your favor. The second principle is the simple yet profound practice of saying thank you. These two words are a powerful energetic tool. They are a declaration of acceptance, an acknowledgement of a gift, and a vibration of gratitude all in one. The art is to use them to short-circuit the habit of deflection. When someone offers you a compliment, resist the urge to say, oh, this old thing, or it was nothing. Take a breath, make eye contact, and simply say, thank you. Feel the warmth of their words land in your heart. When a barista gives you your coffee, say thank you and mean it, acknowledging the entire chain of people who brought that small pleasure to you. When you find a prime parking spot, whisper a silent thank you to the universe. This practice retrains your nervous system to become comfortable with incoming goodness. Each thank you is a small act of opening, a repatterning of your default response from rejection to acceptance. It transforms you from someone who pushes blessings away to someone who welcomes them with grace. This extends to challenges as well. When you face a difficulty, you can practice saying, thank you for the lesson I am about to learn. This acknowledges that even obstacles contain hidden gifts, further deepening your capacity to receive from all of life's experiences. The third principle is the conscious act of expanding your energetic container. Imagine your capacity to hold abundance is a small cup. If the universe tries to pour a gallon of blessings into it, most will simply spill over and be lost. Your job is to grow the size of your cup. This is an internal energetic process. One powerful way to do this is through visualization. Sit quietly and imagine a sphere of light around you. With each breath, visualize this sphere growing larger, more radiant, and more permeable to good. See it expanding to fill the room, the building, the city, feeling your own capacity for receiving grow along with it. Another practical application is to increase your tolerance for positive feelings. The next time something wonderful happens, you land a new client, receive good news, or simply feel a moment of pure joy, resist the urge to immediately move on to the next task. Instead, pause. Close your eyes, place a hand on your heart, and consciously marinate in that positive feeling for 30 seconds. Breathe it into your body. Let the sensation of success, gratitude, or joy become a familiar cellular memory. By doing this repeatedly, you are stretching your energetic container, making more room for sustained happiness and wealth. You are teaching your entire being that not only is it safe to feel good, but that it is your natural and rightful state. But abundance rarely flows in a vacuum. Once you become a gracious receiver, you will notice that the quality of people around you begins to shift. How do you consciously attract and cultivate a community that mirrors and multiplies your prosperity, a tribe that champions your dreams instead of questioning them? That is the next layer of our work. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 5. Magnetizing Your Soul Tribe. There is an old adage that states, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This is often interpreted in terms of habits, income, and ambition, but its true meaning is far deeper and more significant. The truth is that you are the energetic average of the people in your immediate orbit. Every person, every relationship carries a distinct vibrational frequency. When you are in their presence, your energy field naturally attunes to theirs. This is why the curation of your social circle is not a matter of preference, but a critical component of the art of manifestation. This leads us to one of the most common yet unspoken problems on the path to fortune: energetic entanglement. We find ourselves surrounded by people who, often with the best of intentions, operate from a frequency of lack, fear, and limitation. They are the loving family members who tell you your dreams are unrealistic, the old friends who bond over complaints and gossip, the colleagues who see problems in every opportunity. Their collective energy acts as an anchor, tethering you to a reality you are trying to transcend. Their well-meaning realism can subtly poison your conviction, their skepticism can dilute your faith, and their low-vibrational conversations can drain the very life force you need to fuel your dreams. You may leave an interaction feeling depleted, discouraged, or filled with doubt, without quite knowing why. This is the heavy price of maintaining relationships that are out of alignment with the abundant future you are creating. You simply cannot maintain a high frequency of prosperity while marinating in a low frequency of scarcity. The transformative solution is to engage in the practice of conscious energetic curation. This is the deliberate and loving act of choosing who gets intimate access to your time, energy, and attention. It is the recognition that your relationships are not just social connections. They are powerful, energetic investments. To curate your circle is to become the conscious gatekeeper of your own vibrational state, choosing to invest your energy in relationships that uplift, inspire, and expand you, while lovingly creating distance from those that contract and deplete you. This is not about judgment, arrogance, or callously discarding people. It is an act of profound self-love and responsibility. It is understanding that you cannot serve the world from an empty vessel, and your primary duty is to protect the energy that allows you to create and contribute at your highest level. The benefit of this shift is monumental. As you begin to prune the draining connections and nurture the uplifting ones, your baseline energetic frequency will naturally rise. You will find that your confidence grows, your creativity flourishes, and your resilience strengthens. By surrounding yourself with people who already inhabit the reality you wish to create, you make that reality your new normal. You create a powerful mastermind of shared belief, a resonant field where miracles are not just possible but expected. This is how you magnetize your soul tribe, the community that reflects, amplifies, and celebrates the abundant being you are becoming. The first principle of this curation is to conduct a gentle but honest energetic audit. You cannot change what you are not aware of. This audit is a practice of mindful observation. For 1 week, pay close attention to how you feel after interacting with the key people in your life. After a phone call, a lunch meeting, or a family gathering, pause and check in with your body and your emotions. Do you feel energized, inspired, and expansive? Or do you feel tired, heavy, anxious, or small? Keep a simple private log. This is not about creating a list of good and bad people. It is a non-judgmental inventory of energetic exchange. The purpose is simply to gather data, to see clearly which relationships are net contributors to your energy and which are net detractors. This awareness itself is transformative. It allows you to make conscious choices from a place of clarity rather than from a place of unconscious habit or obligation. It empowers you to take responsibility for your own energetic state, recognizing that while you cannot control others, you can control your proximity to their influence. This audit is the essential first step in reclaiming your power and becoming the sovereign creator of your own environment. Once you have this clarity, the second principle is to practice setting loving boundaries. A boundary is not a wall you build to punish others. It is a sacred fence you erect to protect the garden of your inner peace. It is a declaration to yourself and to the world of what you are and are not available for. For relationships that are consistently draining, a loving boundary might mean reducing the frequency or duration of your interactions. It might mean consciously steering conversations away from gossip or complaining and toward more positive or neutral topics. For some, it may involve learning the powerful and graceful art of saying no. Saying no to a request that you know will deplete you is not a rejection of the other person. It is a profound yes to your own well-being and your own dreams. This can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you are conditioned to be a people pleaser. Practice starting small, with low-stakes situations. Communicate your boundaries with kindness but firmness, without over-explaining or apologizing. A simple, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I'm not able to do that right now," is complete. As you practice, you will find that setting boundaries becomes an act of integrity that generates self-respect and, surprisingly, often earns you more respect from others. The third and most magnetic principle is to become the beacon, like attracts like. The universal law of resonance dictates that you will attract people who are a vibrational match to your own dominant frequency. Therefore, the ultimate way to magnetize your soul tribe is to become the very person you wish to attract. If you desire friends who are supportive and encouraging, be relentlessly supportive and encouraging of others. Celebrate their wins with genuine joy, free from envy. If you crave connections that are deep and authentic, show up in your current relationships with vulnerability and authenticity. If you want to be surrounded by positive, inspiring people, commit to radiating positivity and inspiration yourself, even when no one is watching. Your energy is your ultimate point of attraction. When you make it your mission to be a beacon of abundance, passion, and kindness, you send out an unmistakable signal to the universe. The souls who are searching for that same light, your tribe, will be inexorably drawn to you. You will no longer have to seek out aligned connections. They will simply begin to appear in your life, as if by magic, guided by the luminous frequency of your own being. You have learned to listen, to declare, to act in flow, to receive, and to curate your tribe. The final crowning step is to stop doing these things and start being them. How do you move from practicing abundance to becoming the living, breathing embodiment of abundance itself, where flow is no longer an effort but your natural state of being? This is the ultimate integration, the final key to unlocking your feminine fortune. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 6. Embodying Your Abundant Flow. Imagine a master pianist performing a complex and beautiful concerto. She is not thinking about the placement of her fingers, the theory behind the chords, or the mechanics of the pedals. Her practice and knowledge have become so deeply integrated into her being that she no longer plays the music. She is the music. The melody flows through her, an effortless and sublime expression of her very soul. This state of unconscious competence, of complete fusion between the artist and the art, is the essence of embodiment. This is the final and most profound stage of our journey together. We can diligently practice all the principles. We can listen to our intuition, declare our desires, act in flow, receive with grace, and curate our tribe. But as long as we view these as a series of tasks on a checklist, we remain separate from the state we wish to achieve. This is the last great challenge, the subtle belief that abundance is something outside of us that we must constantly do things to acquire. This keeps us in a perpetual state of striving, of trying to get it right, which by its very nature reinforces a sense of separation and effort. We remain a person practicing abundance, rather than becoming an abundant person. The final liberation is to dissolve this separation entirely. The transformative solution is the ultimate shift from dedicated practice to effortless embodiment. Embodiment is the complete integration of the principles of abundance into your subconscious mind, your nervous system, and your cellular memory. It is the point at which you no longer have to try to feel abundant. Abundance becomes your natural state of being, your default frequency. Flow is no longer a concept you work toward, but the very air you breathe. Intuition is no longer a whisper you strain to hear, but your primary language. Gratitude is not an exercise, but the constant posture of your heart. When you embody your abundant flow, you cease to be a seeker of fortune because you have realized that you are the source of it. This is the ultimate pinnacle of feminine fortune, not a destination to be reached, but a state of being to be lived. The benefits of this final integration are a profound and unshakable inner peace that is independent of external circumstances, a deep and abiding trust in the flow of life, and the experience of manifestation as a natural, continuous, and joyful byproduct of your own radiant existence. You become a walking, talking vortex of prosperity, drawing opportunities, beauty, and wealth to you, simply by being who you truly are. The first principle of this ultimate integration is living from the inside out. The material world is always and only a mirror reflecting your dominant inner state. The striving mind tries to manipulate the outer world in order to feel good on the inside. The embodied soul knows to cultivate the feeling on the inside first, which then effortlessly rearranges the outer world to match. This is the practice of feeling first. Before you open your banking app, take a moment to generate the feeling of financial peace and security within your body, regardless of the numbers. Before you walk into an important meeting, take 30 seconds to embody the feeling of success and confidence. Before you look in the mirror, generate the feeling of unconditional self-love and acceptance. This is a radical reordering of creation. You are choosing your emotional state proactively, consciously, rather than allowing external events to dictate your feelings. It is a declaration that your inner world is sovereign. By consistently generating the feelings of the reality you desire before you see the evidence, you collapse the time and space between your desire and its physical manifestation. You are no longer chasing an outcome, you are living from it, thereby commanding its presence in your life. The second principle is the sacred alchemy of gratitude. While we have touched upon gratitude as a practice, embodiment elevates it to a state of being. It is about transforming gratitude from a mental exercise into a constant somatic experience. The ego practices gratitude for the big wins, the new car, the promotion, the large sum of money. The embodied soul finds profound gratitude in the fabric of the ordinary. This is the alchemy that turns the mundane into the miraculous. The purpose is to feel thankfulness as a physical sensation. As you drink a glass of water, feel genuine gratitude for the clean, life-giving liquid, for the complex systems that brought it to your tap. As you walk outside, feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, and allow a wave of thankfulness for the star that powers our world to wash over you. When you get into bed at night, feel the comfort of the sheets and the safety of your shelter, and let your entire body relax into a state of deep, physical gratitude. This practice anchors the high frequency of abundance directly into your cells. It makes gratitude not just a thought you have, but a part of your physical reality, rewiring your brain and body to constantly scan for beauty, blessings, and things to appreciate. When your very cells vibrate with gratitude, you become an irresistible match for more experiences that evoke that same feeling. The third and final principle is celebrating the journey as the destination. The unenlightened mind is obsessively focused on the destination. It believes happiness, fulfillment, and peace are waiting at the end of the road, after the goal is achieved. This ensures that the present moment is always deficient, always lacking. Embodiment is the realization that all of life is in the journey itself. The true richness is found not in the final outcome, but in the dance of creation. The thrill of an inspired idea, the satisfaction of a small, aligned step, the wisdom gained from a perceived setback, the magic of a synchronicity that confirms you are on the right path. To embody your flow is to fall in love with this process. It is to release the desperate need for a specific outcome and instead find your joy in the becoming. When you find pleasure in the unfolding, you liberate yourself from the anxiety of the future. Paradoxically, it is this very release that allows your desires to manifest with the greatest speed and grace. The universe rushes to support those who are already happy, who are already fulfilled, who are already finding the treasure in the present moment. Your joy in the journey becomes the very fuel that propels you forward. This is the final secret. The fortune was never at the end of the path. The fortune is the path. It is the privilege of being a conscious creator, of dancing with the universe, of remembering the magnificent, inherently abundant power that has been within you all along. Thus our journey concludes, not at an end, but at the true beginning. We have journeyed inward, from the first quiet whispers of intuition to the full, radiant embodiment of our own divine flow. We have learned to declare our heart's true fortune, to move with the graceful rhythm of inspired action, to open ourselves to the boundless generosity of the universe, and to surround ourselves with a tribe that reflects our own light. The ultimate realization is that feminine fortune is not a treasure to be acquired, but a truth to be remembered. It is the recognition of your innate worthiness, your creative power, and your unbreakable connection to the source of all abundance. To embody this is to come home to yourself, to a place of unshakable peace and effortless prosperity. It is to understand that the greatest wealth you will ever possess is the joy of being fully, authentically, and magnificently you. Thank you for sharing your time and energy with us on this journey into the heart of feminine fortune. It has been an honor to guide you through these principles of flow and intuition. We hope this exploration has awakened you to the incredible power you hold within to shape your reality and manifest a life of profound joy and abundance. To continue on this path of growth and discovery, please remember to give this video a like, comment with your insights or experiences, and subscribe to the Success Attraction Formula channel for more content designed to help you unlock your highest potential.